It's called a loss. Hello?
Welcome, everyone, to a podcast where we live and, more importantly, die by an oath. This is It's Called a Lance.
Damn. You just went right for the throat.
Oh, well, you know, we can't beat around that bush today.
I was not prepared for this. This is
amazing.
With me
You're
today,
a monster
as always,
and a bad person.
Is Auntie Haunty and Austin co-host, whose hearts have been broken.
Hello. Oh no, my heart wasn't broken. I've been through this trauma years ago as a child. So you know when I was more resilient to these sorts of things.
I didn't say it was broken now. It was broken separately at another time.
Fair. I mean, you know, as a child, I remember that moment feeling more epic than heartbreaking, to be perfectly honest. I felt like it. But I was also a kid who grew up on King Arthur and and Song of Roland and all of that stuff. So for me, this was entirely expected. You're going to give me a noble knight who is true to his code and loaded up with honor, who cares nothing except for the dignity of his oath and not... I mean, come on. No, I if anyone was going to go, especially the way he went, this was the most appropriate fate for this character.
Yeah, we'll get into all that in more depth, but overall, Austin, having now reached the end of this book, the second book, which contains, and this is probably the most iconic arc in all of Dragonlance, was that final, this final run that's in this reading we just did. How are you feeling at the end of this?
Everything is bleak and miserable. The sun does not shine anymore, at least not on my realm.
It will feel like that way for a bit. You'll see the bright side soon.
Yeah.
You know, but like bits of jokes aside, it was a fantastic read, and honestly, for like a character death, it was mint.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like we've been saying, this book, Winter Night, is probably, of the trilogy, it's the strongest, right? It's the most dramatic. It's the most dynamic, I think, of the three books. Just spilled a little bit of energy drink on my copy. Fortunately, the cover is so fluid resistant. What a great book. People should really buy it, because I just spilled like a good tablespoon of Monster all over it, and it's completely fine.
I've got the zip juice of choice tonight.
That is the zip juice of choice tonight.
And just remember, if you follow our links, maybe in the show notes, we can get a bit of a kickback from that.
That's true. From these books with zip juice resistant covers.
Resistant covers, yeah. Never ruin your reading material again. You will not be picking this book up fondly in 20 years and thinking, I remember when I spilled that. You'll be thinking about how good the book made you feel.
Exactly. Now,
your mileage will vary on how good it makes you feel.
But yeah, as I was saying, I think that this book is the strongest, and it's reminding me now like that the next book is largely going to be, you know, the denouement, as it were, right?
Yeah.
Sort of the declining action. But I think it also has some secrets in store for us, some surprises.
Yeah.
Happy and
it absolutely
and sad.
Does. Yeah. And it was very strange. When I released my big Dragonlance video on my main channel, I'd mentioned that like Sturm is the fan favorite, and also book 2 is generally considered the best one. And I got just a scathing comment from someone like, where the hell did you hear that? Have you never spoken to Dragonlance fans? No one thinks that. And it's like, I think you may just have never talked to another Dragonlance fan, because like this, I feel like this is a pretty common opinion.
Yeah, I definitely have preferred book 2.
Yeah, book 2 is it.
And like the actual didn't TSR do a survey at one point, and Sturm was the favorite character?
Yeah, I think he's the most he's the most strongly, I think, related to character, right? Like, because so many of the people, especially at the time, the D&D demographics, of course, were very different at one point in time. Obviously, people of all demographics have been playing Dungeons and Dragons forever. But from what I understand, the primary demographic for a lot of the Dragonlance stuff was like, young men, many of them in military service. Wise and Hickman still to this day get letters from men in military service about how meaningful Sturm is to them as a character. So for a lot of people there, that moment and that the character overall kind of becomes a signifier, right, for personal life themes and personal feelings about what it means to be a good person.
Absolutely. So, since we seem to be pushing really hard to talk about the story, but let me get that summary read, and then we can just dive right in. We pick up after another iconic Dragonlance time skip, though this one is thankfully short. Lorana prepares to leave Sancris to their war, so she might take on a more personal quest of finding Tanis. Gunter asks a favor of her instead. He has nearly finished outmaneuvering Derek, whose position has been weakened greatly by his failing command near Palanthas. Lorana is to deliver the news that Sturm has had his charges thrown out, and he is once again allowed to wear his armor. And also withdraw money, which he's definitely going to do. Yes. Meanwhile, Theros tells Knights he wants to set up a production line to produce dragon lances. It turns out that you actually don't need the Hammer of Kairos if you're just built different like Theros. Before the gang leaves to deliver the note to Sturm, Tass and Nosh give the broken dragon orm a proper autopsy. Over in the town of Flotsam, Caramon, Tanis, and Raistlin prepare to book a passage on a boat towards Sandcrest, though Raistlin begins arguing that Palanthas will actually be a better destination. Tanis ends up getting found while disguised as a dragon army officer, and gets scooped up by Kitiara, the High Lord of the Blue Dragon armies. She tells him about the green gemstone man she was sent here to capture. Then they hook up, leaving the Lorana Tanis shipping fanbase in shambles. Sturm begins an arc that will shape the world. Derek, his power slipping away, quickly goes mad. The other commander is bound by the oath and measure to do nothing to stop it. Sturm has done what he can to salvage the situation. The city of Palanthas refuses to let the Knights station there, in hopes that the Knights can just keep the dragon armies away from their beautiful city. Derek made a mess of the diplomacy, but Sturm at least managed to get the city to send the Knights some supplies. Tass commits a taboo by entering the tower where the Knights are stationed, and finds an abandoned dragon orb inside. Derek, knowing he's only got one shot left at power, orders his knights to charge the dragon army. Sturm refuses the order, breaking the measure. The bodies of the two knight captains are returned, Alfred dead and Derek raving mad until he breathes his last breaths. Lorana, Flint, Tass, and Sturm are left with the remaining knights to defend the fort, and all of them know that this is the end of the line. After a day of fighting, half are dead. 3 dragons push towards them in the sky. Tass and Lorana plan to use the Kender's knowledge of the dragon orb to disrupt the attackers, but they will need time. Sturm resolves to mount the tower and buy them that time. At the apex, Sturm's arc finally ends. The knight who struggled so mightily to live up to his oath proved he could die by it. Lorana barely keeps the orb in control, and manages to lure 2 of the dragons to the waiting knights, who skewer them with dragon lances. She ascends the tower and confronts Kitiara. Kit asks Lorana to give Sturm a knight's funeral, and tells her that Tanis is safe and won't ever have to know about Kit murdering his friend. See you in 3 days, elf. At Sturm's funeral, Lorana resolves herself to ditch this stupid fort and go to Palanthas, where she will begin uniting the petty politicking people of this world to finally unite against the darkness. That's it. That's the summary.
Yep.
Quite the generational arc in this particular chunk of the book.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a lot. Oh man. It's so. Shall we go chapter by chapter?
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna get bogged down talking about the end of this if we just try talking. So let's go chapter by chapter.
Yes. What was the number of the first chapter again? What's the page number?
Number 7, An Unexpected Journey.
Yes. Let's see, because I love my little bookmark fell out of my book. There we go.
Yeah, we start out with Lorana going like, okay, well, I'm finished doing all of this Dragonlance Chronicles business. Now I can get out of world business and go find my boyfriend.
Yes. Which is all well and good. She's been trying for that for a while now. Yada, yada, yada. Lorana loves Tannis. Tannis loves Lorana. Oh my God. Will they, won't they? Win, will they?
Yeah.
What I want to talk about is the great tragedy. The most ill-treated character in the whole series. The poor damn hammer of Karis.
Which turned out to be utterly irrelevant.
Completely, this artifact, this sacred relic that is so many times. This thing, not only is its recovery glossed over
without so screen.
Yeah, but then it doesn't even get its moment to shine in the end, because like it's literally just like, oh yeah, no, they needed it back in the day because they weren't that great, but me, I'm incredible, so I don't even need the thing.
Guy, I don't need it. I'm that guy. You don't need the hammer. You don't need the hammer if you're him, and I'm him.
Yeah. He probably didn't even need the silver arm, to be honest. If he still had his arm, he would have been like, I don't even need that. I can just do this. Like,
yeah. Occasionally.
In fact, I'm so good. I'm going to get a bunch of people who can't do it, and I'm going to make it so that they can. And we're all going to do it as a big group, and we're just going to mass produce. This is going to be amazing, guys.
Like, I love that, like, in the background, Theros is like just the most impossibly good blacksmith that has ever existed, and none of the characters are all that interested. He keeps trying to tell them.
Okay. It's true. For the thumbnail, I just want the hammer of Karis with like a sad face. Superimposed over the usual thumbnail, please.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a good chapter though. We learn a little bit more about Sturm, of course, being pardoned. Which is nice to see.
I'm sorry, real quick.
Yes.
Since you made me think of stuff that's outside of our normal format right there. We made a mistake in the last episode. Someone pointed it out, and then it became re-pointed out within the book today. Yes. I said that Alhana, I was disappointed in her for not stopping the elves at the Council of Whitestone. She was not there. She was there at the first one, and then it made me think that she was there for the second one, but she was not.
Okay.
So she was not one of the people who was like, we should invade humanity and take the dragon orb. She did not participate in that.
Okay.
Yeah. We were wrong. I apologize. We can go commit Sudoku later or something.
Right.
Anyway, excellent. Back where we were.
Back indeed. Poor Alhana. She's never going to get her man. What a bummer.
Honestly, yeah, I felt for her.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will. But let's see. So Sturm is pardoned. And
no, not pardoned.
No, yes, not pardoned. Right.
The charges were
Vindicated.
thrown out. Vindicated.
Yes, vindicated. And Derek is in serious trouble. Finer words have never been written. I do feel bad. I was wrong. I don't think I was wrong to say that Derek was at one point showing the glimmer of possibility for change. but he squandered it over and over again. So at this point, he fully deserves it. What's coming to him. But
yep.
But it's good for Sturm. And Laurana and Gunther, of course, are doing their politicking.
I think Derek serves well in his purpose as kind of a foil in Sturm's Arabelle,
Yeah, an anti-Sturm, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah. The man who would be everything what is. It's sort of like the good evil neutral or the lawful chaotic neutral axis, isn't it? We have Sturm on one side, we have Derek far on the other side, and then right in the middle we have Gunther, who seems to be a man who thinks of the knighthood in the same way, in the same mode as Sturm, but has the pragmatism of characters like Derek, where he understands the necessity of politicking.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gives it its fair its owed consideration. As Laurana points out in her inner monologue during their conversation several times, they have a very nice sort of just upfront conversation here about that. Yep.
And Gunther convinces Laurana that she's got to not go chase down her boyfriend right away, because Sturm needs to be delivered a message that he is vindicated and very cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But this is also, in a way, and not just in a way, but this is also very much a big power play, right? So he doesn't want to trust one of his knights who could get lost in the politics. So, if the letter arrives at Sturm, Derek will be humiliated. He'll be finished. But you got to make sure the note for sure reaches him. So you can't send a knight. You got to send Laurana.
I think so. Which is a smart move, I think, in many ways. Although it's interesting because I misremember. I'm either misremembering a lot of this military escapade portion of the book, this final few chapters of Winter Night, or I'm confusing it with something that happens in Spring Dawning in memory, which may be the case as well. I remember Laurana leading soldiers during this conflict, not politicking.
You're thinking
in
book through, or you're thinking
book three. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, our resident Laurana expert. I knew you would know, Will.
Listen, I went into this series with nothing but some vague memories, and I remember General Laurana. That's one of the vague memories I have.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We went into this series, book one, Laurana was like a not particularly beloved side piece of the main character. We are entering book three with Laurana as the main character.
Yep.
Hell yeah. And I'm here.
And Tanis as a side piece.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
But what did you think of the political conversation between Laurana and Gunther? Is Gunther right? Is Laurana treating it correctly? What do you think's going on here in this chat that they have?
I think so. I think there's a lot that's hidden because of the time skip. Where it's like there's been this big political battle, and then we time skip. I'm not sure how long, but it seems like it's only a couple weeks, maybe a week even. And Gunther claps his hands and goes, "I did it. I've cornered Derek. I win. Just deliver the message." So a lot happened that we didn't see. There's probably a good Dragonlance spin-off novel about the politicking here. I'm sure that was probably not one of the ones that got made. But Night Politics would be a pretty cool Dragonlance novel. I'm not gonna lie.
True. It would be. It'd be very like epic. It'd be a lot like the Lord Soth novel, who we haven't. I don't even think we haven't even seen him yet.
Not yet.
We haven't even been.
It was to the point where I forgot about Lord Soth, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I hadn't forgotten about him, but I didn't. I kept waiting for him to be. I swear he's got so much presence. I did not realize that he only appears in the third book. But
there's so much stuff that only happens in the third book. Like I remember, like the entire series being set in Palanthas, basically.
Yeah, right.
And we're not even there yet.
It's true.
Yeah, I only know of Lord Soft from my time in Ravenloft.
Oh, what a tragedy that
Lord
was.
Soft's isekai.
Yeah, his brief dalliance.
Yeah, he bored the dark powers so much they just kicked him out.
Yeah. Well, he's Dragonlance's Darth Vader, but
yes.
But yes, so what else happens in this chapter then beyond Laurana being like, you're using Sturm, and Gunther's like, of course I am, but it's with, it's for a purpose that Sturm himself would support. And she's like, I don't know. And Gunther's like, well, what do you think would happen to Sturm if the knighthood fell into the hands of someone like Derek, right? We also see Nosh and the Dragon Orb and Fizban have a moment.
Yes.
Which is very funny. It's a very funny Fizban moment.
They complete Nosh's life quest by checking out the orb.
Yeah. Well, they extend his life quest. That's quest,
true.
Right? It's not completed. He thinks it's done. He thinks it's over with the destruction of the orb, his one chance. And then Fizban's like, well, I mean, you could always study it from the inside out. And which of course for a gnome is immediately like, oh shit, that's the coolest thing I've ever thought of. I hadn't even considered it.
I like he just does like, stop, nobody move, you might step on a piece.
Which is funny because he's actually immediately doing exactly what you do in like archaeology and stuff like this, right? Like if you find shards of pottery in a cave, you document like the spread of the pieces on the ground before you remove them. They're doing everything correctly, which I think is hilarious because, these gnomes, we think of them as just highly eccentric, right? Madmen who have no rhyme or reason to what they do. But they actually know what they're doing, right? They do it correctly. Completely. They just don't have the guardrails of reason that we have in real life, right? Like they're just like, I'm going to invent this thing, and all the other gnomes are like, they don't think about ethics and stuff. They're just like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Hell yeah.
There go we, but for ethics boards.
We can just throw people into nets instead of using stairs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So crazy, it just might work.
And then you get all the gnomes whose life path is based on stairs, and you get all of the gnomes whose life path is based on net technology and catapult. You bring them all together, and bam! Suddenly you've got a whole coalition pushing for these catapult gnome flingers.
But what they never talk about is all of the dead gnomes that died in the accidents between the beta testing of the net launchers and, where we're at.
Well, for every gnome who dies, I mean, that's just another opportunity for a new gnome to step in and take over the life path. It
is true.
Yeah.
And then Tass goes off with Laurana. And Elliston and Fizban have a moment, which we won't discuss in depth because we're not spoiling it.
It's a very magical moment, though.
But it's a magical moment of, hey, I know you, don't I? Maybe.
I'd also like to point out the co-location of the moment, because it seems strongly implied to me by the writing that Fizban saying goodbye to Tasselhoff and being like, I'm going to hang out with these gnomes until we perfect this net gun. By the way, what's my name? I totally forgot. And then him meeting with Elliston on this beach and being like, "Oh, my name's Fizban, by the way. Nice to meet you." I get the strong sense that these happen at the same time.
I think I like that theory.
Yeah, Fizban is somehow in multiple places at once, And I sometimes wonder, actually, I found myself wondering after this, was like, is Fizban A forgetting his name because Fizban B has the name, or is Fizban A trying to remember his name, also Fizban B trying to remember, and then when Fizban B gets told, like, that's why he kind of turns back briefly. It's like, by the way, my name's Fizban. Like, is he's getting told his name as Fizban A, and he's like, Fizban B is the one who's like, oh, great, cool, that's what it was, right?
That would be an extremely
be
Fizban type of thing.
Yeah,
right,
I mean,
it?
I don't know about in AD&D, but I think the clone spell still exists. So it tracks.
It's possible. It does. Will, how are you feeling about Elliston by this point in the series? How's your feelings about him nowadays?
He's still on the interfere with Tanis Lorana relationship almost as his main character arc.
Right, yeah.
He's still doing the like, no, Lorana, you should not go try and save Tanis. Maybe he'll come here. Just stop. Stop looking for him.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, fair. Is our passions still as bloodthirsty for Elliston as they used to be?
No, not as much, because he's been pushed to the wayside a little bit, so he's not there for me to be angry at as much.
Right. His paternal instincts toward the young women of the Dragonlance series are no longer being ripe for interpretation as
Exactly.
Gotcha.
I do have one more thing for this chapter that struck me.
What?
So we do remember learning that there has never been a gnome in the history of gnomedom that has ever completed a sentence.
Oh shit, did he finish the sentence?
He did finish a sentence.
Oh, that's true.
And I will quote, "It
What was
isn't
it? Yeah.
asked Nosh, so miserable he finished the sentence."
Oh my god.
In regards to the dragon orb.
Oh, when he was depressed. Yeah.
Yes. Finished the sentence. First time it's happened. Don't at me.
In all of gnomish history, this has never happened, and it's just a little throwaway line.
Yeah, that's probably why Fizban was like, "Oh, I gotta do something. I gotta help out this little man."
I mean, if he just let it happen, it might be the first gnome to die of sadness, and I'm not ready for that.
Yeah. True.
So, chapter 8. Not a very long one. We get we move over to another trio. Tanis, Karamon, and Raistlin. I feel like there's a fourth one in there, but there's no fourth one in there. Just mentally, it feels like there's a fourth character there.
I mean, there is the captain who gets a brief speaking line.
That's true. There is the captain.
But, they don't really matter.
Not particularly.
But who does matter is who's on the boat.
Who is on the boat?
You don't remember who the helmsman is.
Oh, right. Yes. They find on the boat Barum, the nondescript guy who got crushed by boulders in book 1. And then they saw him among the refugees later. Yeah.
They kind of forgot about him. Tanis was like, why does this dude look so familiar?
The dude who we all thought was Eben the first time. Well, and by all I mean
right,
is Haunty and I. See, and this is one of the things. I think this is why it was so easy to get them confused, is because Eben's barely there till book 3. I mean, Barum. Right. Did I say Eben? Barum is barely there till book 3. So you get all these moments where he just kind of like pops up every now and then, and one of the only times he pops up in book 1 is with Eben. So like if you're like weeks or months apart reading this, you're like, yeah, Eben, he's back now.
Yes. Yeah. Like, oh, this guy. And we still don't know a whole lot about him other than how much they want him.
Yeah, we do know that he's important to the plot, but we don't know why he's important to the plot.
We know he's the green gemstone man.
Yes, and that Kitiara's specific task seems to be like, whereas the other, seems like each Dragon High Lord has a strategic task, right? Like the Red Dragon armies were all about conquest. The White Dragon armies presumably were about just kind of holding down the north. And the Blue Dragon Army seems very much to be tied to tracking down Barham, in addition to other strategic needs. But this is like cause number one, right?
Yeah.
And now they've wound up in the same city.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And Tanis and Caramon go off trying to find a good disguise because they are being
Indeed.
searched for, they think.
Yes, and they of course think that the best disguise would be the uniforms of some officers of the dragon of the invading force.
Not a bad idea, right?
Yeah, not a bad idea until it becomes a bad idea. But
Yeah, that's why you just go for a generic foot soldier. Nobody cares about those guys.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And
what was I going to say there? Either way, they get the outfits. It works.
Yes.
And then
it works pretty well. Well, before they get the outfits.
Well. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Before they get the outfits, I actually want to talk about one of these sort of ancillary characters. It's that this chapter, the Parashon chapter 8. Yeah. The I really like this character that they hire to sort of pilot the boat.
Maquesta Carthon.
AKA Mac.
Yeah.
I like this character a lot because I think that, let's set aside any visual representations of Maquesta. I don't know if she got official art in the olden days. She's been painted a couple of. Okay, I just saw some. No, she's been given a lot of different art over the years. Some of it seems to have been mistakenly assigned to her, but she got a book, and she does have some cover art from there. She does get a book, and I will show you the sort of the art.
Did they make her white in the book?
Sort of.
Oh,
no. Questionable. There is also a playing card from a Dragonlance card game that just uses recycled art of a drow from Forgotten Realms, but which also seems kind of a choice.
Okay,
but
not like a good choice, mind you.
Yeah, but Maquesta is given, she's given the dark curly hair. She's sort of like she looks like a white lady from New York City circa 1985. But I like this character a lot because, unlike a lot of women in Dragonlance or in Dungeons and Dragons in general, like she's very masculine, right?
Oh yeah.
By which I mean, like, if this character had been written as like Maquesto, call me Mac, a dude, right? Other than the character commenting on Tanis's pretty eyes, this conversation everything about the character would 100% right fit a male character. And in fact, if we gender swapped Tanis and kept the pretty eyes comment, like this would just be a very normal conversation from a very normal, like smarmy, like overly confident, like sea captain talking to an attractive woman, right? Like, oh, you've got some pretty eyes there too. And I personally, as a person sort of on that spectrum of behavior, I really appreciate it. I think that it shows that these kinds of characters have been part of the D&D culture and the D&D arc for a real long time. This idea of
I just found some art of her that is by Larry Elmore that looks a little bit more like I visualized. Looks much better.
Indeed.
No pants as Larry Elmore, but
Yeah, this looks like the art that probably inspired the cover art for the for her book. And I just think that like a lot of the time when we talk about D&D, first of all, we always think like that all the women were cheesecakes and all the men were beefcakes, and not necessarily the case. But sometimes we get some beefcakey women and some very masculine women. It's great. And also,
it's always been
people will sometimes. Yeah, exactly. And people are sometimes critical of characters where they're like, oh, all they did to make this woman a strong, tough woman, all they did was write a man and then just made it a woman. I'm like, yeah, because sometimes that's what you want for a character, right? And I think she's a really good example of how well that works because she stands out, right? She's very clear. She's in a great position thematically as a ship captain, right? Her only love is her ship. Blah 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 blah. She puts Tannis on the back foot immediately. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting writing. It immediately makes her an interesting character. She stuck out in people's minds enough to warrant her own book. She's someone that I would immediately like attach myself to if I were playing in a game and the dungeon master put a character like this in front of me. Like, sometimes you want that character in your book or in your story, you know? Sometimes you do just want to say, well, we wrote this man, but what if we just made them a woman, but kept everything else the same about them? Or we wrote this woman, but what if we just made them a man and kept everything else the same about them? You can get some interesting characters like that.
I think sometimes, like, when you've got your story fully plotted and before you put pen to paper, or sometimes halfway after you've put pen to paper, sometimes it's beneficial to just, like, think of each character and be like, is this character cool or gender swapped in either direction? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really cool.
Yeah, like, because as a man, Mac would just be kind of generic, right? Suddenly, as a woman, they are exceptional, and it's so nice to see. So I just wanted to call out Mac there because great character.
Oh yeah,
great character. But yes, you're right. The uniforms did not work out very well because Tannis got attacked by a distraught elven rebel, and before he could say anything to stop the man from stabbing him, running him through, the elven rebel gets run through by none other than the Dragon High Lord himself, aka herself, Kitiara Uth Matar. Recognizes coming in to save one of her officers just because she's like that.
Yeah, because she's a good warlord.
And
she's a good
so
warlord, yeah.
Non-surprised to see Tannis there fighting for the armies of evil. She's just like, oh, Tannis, hey, buddy.
What's up?
Yeah,
well, you know, it's what she would have. It's what she would have wanted, right? So of course she's just going to kind of run with it. Although I've always, you know, I remember my feelings about that whole interaction. I've always kind of felt that maybe she's aware that there are shenanigans going on, but she's just kind of rolling with it because she knows that, like, if she just accepts Tannis at his word, she can kind of bait him into maintaining the lie. And by putting him in a position where he has
warlord.
Yeah, by putting him in that position, she can hold on to him longer, right? Because he has to go along with it. And and maybe then she can continue to manipulate him because she's very smart.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we know that. Like, strategically, she wouldn't have thought, oh, yeah, Tannis just kind of decided out of nowhere to be evil and to join the Dark Armies, and he slid in his way into an officer's role, and I had no idea. Like, come on. She's smarter than that. I think she's manipulating Tannis at this point for her own benefit.
I think you're probably right.
Yep. And that brings us to chapter 9, where we have a lovely picture of her helmet observing who knows what.
Oh, yeah. I think we know exactly what.
Clearly, they're just playing some cards or something, as adults do, to keep this PG-13.
Yeah, Tannis does the foreplay of taking off her boots, and then they play cards.
Tiddlywinks, I think, is actually the correct game here.
Is that what they called it back in your day?
Yeah, they're playing Tiddlywinks, thanks to Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
You can virtually slot in any game, and the joke works. Yeah, they're playing Go Fish.
Yeah, I mean, Tannis was definitely slotting something
40K.
in. A long night of Scrabble.
Tannis definitely slotted something in into that niche.
That niche. Oh.
That niche.
Oh.
I don't know. It sounds like it's got some broad appeal there.
Yeah. I think so. It's a niche that
Okay,
several
so-
characters will try their hands at before this series is done.
God damn it.
Just
So,
saying.
they just kind of chat for a bit. Tanis goes, "Oh, Barum, Green Gemstone guy, of course."
Of course, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
that dude. I've heard about him.
And he ends up having kind of a weird this moment to me is a little weird.
Which one?
The one where Tanis kind of considers considers the option of just going along with it. Like, even though he like reacts like no in the end, the fact that he even kind of thinks about it, I'm like, in the way that he does, I could see him considering it, being like, oh man, it would be nice if I could just do this. But like, he's so into it, right?
I
Like, in it
think
for that
he's,
brief moment.
I think it's very much to do with just how like troubled he is, where he keeps thinking like if he walks these certain paths, he'll find inner peace. Like, oh, if I walk the
Right.
path of good, I'll find inner peace. If I walk the path of evil, I'll get inner peace. And the fact of the matter is, you just it's just not that easy. You don't
Yeah.
like if he just goes along with Kitiara, that's not going to solve his problems. He's not going to feel any better. He's probably going to feel worse.
That's
Mhm.
true. You know, he wants that. Like, I like that you frame it as like seeking inner peace, because that really does seem to be his central conflict, right? Even the conflict that kind of leads him to be a bit of a fuckboy when it comes to having all of these multiple women that he's interested in.
Well, and it's
Like-
just like his whole like, am I a human? Am I an elf? It's like, buddy, neither one's gonna help you that much. Like, if you commit to either one, none of them are gonna fix it.
Yep. Like we know
Yeah.
at this point, Tanis is 100% true and truly and factually in love with Lorana, right? He loves Lorana, but like you said, the inner peace the search for inner peace, he's not resolved that yet. And that has been his underlying motivation, even for like, what woman should I be with? So like, even if he loves Lorana, I guess, you know, that search for inner peace could still say, yeah, that's nice and all, but would that really give you what you need? Right.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a time to introduce this conflict, this personal conflict to him.
I think it's been there in the background, and it's like it's kind of a shock to see it rise up here, but it was there.
Yeah, true.
But other than that, I don't think there's a lot of specific events that happen, except for one that probably happens multiple times that night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we can move on to the High Clerist's Tower.
Yeah, you know, when I will say, I'm glad they well, no, you know, I'll keep that to myself. Never mind. We'll talk about that after the conclusion of the trilogy. I was just gonna say, you know, in a future trilogy, right? There's several core trilogies to the Dragonlance series, right? There's Chronicles, there's the Legends, and then there's sort of the less well received sort of follow up where it's like many years later, and they're following the next generation of characters.
Right.
They do not provide us a Tanis and Kitiara, you know, Tanis and Kitiara offspring. They do provide us, however.
You may want to say that one if you're thinking who I'm thinking.
Say
his first name. We can say his first name, Steel.
Steel. Yeah, they do give us good old Steel, which really shakes up a lot of a lot of what we understand from this series of chapters.
Weird in retrospect.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Austin. There's more. There's so much more ahead of you.
All right. Okay, we'll bring it on. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Good. Anywho, but yeah, that'll bring us all. I think after a little bit of game playing, because Kitiara's got game, and that's the game Tanis likes to play most. We end up at the High Clerist Tower for the knighting.
We do. We get a nice picture of the tower, which so
Mm-hmm.
much of this will be set in. And that thing's going to be just in ruins by the end of this.
Yeah.
So get a good look now.
Get a good long look.
How easy
Very
do you
interestingly designed tower.
It is a really
again,
nice looking tower.
It's a nice looking tower. It looks very. I mean, it does. Give some Derek or some credit to Derek. If I saw that and then I saw a shitty mountain pass, I'd be like, well, the fortress has got to be way better. But we know that's not true.
No, it's not, because I mean, look at those entryways. It's got entryways all around it. That
Yeah,
almost seems like the wrong strategic choice for a fortress.
He seems like he's only got. I mean, based off of it might not be. I might not be right here, but we know that by the end of it, when the other knights are gone and it's just Sturm with his order, he's got 100 guys left. So does that mean there are 300 knights in total? 300 knights doesn't look like it's enough to cover all those gates and all those towers. That's a big thing.
I mean, again, you're not going to have your knights really do the covering of the towers and the walls. It's not what your knights are there for. That's what the foot soldiers are there for. And
but currently we don't have those.
I thought they did.
This was actually. I think this was my mistake last time. Was because you had said he was made a general of the knights, and I said I think he was just made a general on behalf of the knights. We don't necessarily know if he's leading knights or if he's leading like a bunch of soldiers, like
it's
representing the knights. But now we know it is knights he was leading. So you were actually retroactively correct there.
Yes, yeah. At this point in time, again,
because,
much like
you all need to stop doubting me.
Well, no,
right.
You're
too good.
It's much like I was like, is this in Spring Dawning or is this in Winter Night? That moment where there's actually a proper military force is Spring Dawning. The knights at this point are still.
No, I swear that they had.
No, the knights are still a small generational order that is largely hated across Ancillon. They are an isolated group. It's one of the reasons why they are so given over to politicking, right? Because they have the time to politic amongst themselves. They are woefully outmatched.
All right. Originally, the tower had a meager guarded pass, etc., etc. It was an addition that the knights and the footmen were living. So they do have foot soldiers.
Footmen. They have footmen, Austin. No. They have footmen. They don't have foot soldiers. And a footman is a squire. It's an infantry soldier who serves essentially as a squire to a knight. While they are a soldier, they are also the person who is carrying a lance or carrying extra shields or carrying extra swords. They are not what we are imagining as like just untitled soldiers in an army. They're actually like liveried servants of the knights.
My counter to this is at the end of the chapter, the knights have taken the field. What the commander's jaw sagged, are you certain? Yes, the scout was practically incoherent. Saw them, hundreds on horsebacks, javelin swords, 1,000 foot. That's not how many squires you have.
It's how many, footmen, and I'm saying footmen. Male domestic workers employed mainly to wait at a table or coach a carriage, or in the military context to carry weapons and to fight.
Also, I guess now we know the number. Now he had 1,000. Yeah. He had 1,000 soldiers.
So these are the...
Yeah, so 1,100 total with Sturm's knights.
These guys are personal servants to the knights trained to fight on their behalf on occasion. But they also are not tried and tested, right? These aren't like military men. These are servants.
I mean, that was kind of the big thing about a lot of the knights is not most of them don't have a lot of actual military combat because they've been busy politicking.
Which explains the only real as to why Sturm was immediately given a command role is because his like 10 years of adventuring, everybody can see makes him one of the more battle-hardened knights in the order, which is strange because he's still quite young.
The only compelling difference between a footman and a squire, incidentally, is just that the squire is the only one. A squire is the same as a footman, essentially, except a squire is in line for a knighthood. A footman will never be made a knight because they're not part of the family. They're just servants who serve the families. Aha.
Yeah.
Not foot soldiers. These are not. These are not hardened military men.
We're getting caught up in the lawyer. Word.
Yeah.
I just care about the setting.
I think that's just going a little too much into being a pedant about it.
No, I think it's important because when these books were being written, there was at a time when AD&D people were pedants. Like there when things are referenced using certain medieval language, like there's a specific intention, and the intention we're meant to draw away from this is not knights accompanied by like soldiers, but knights accompanied by servants who are serving in a military capacity at this moment. Like that's the intention. That's how we're supposed to understand the army that is about to face the dragon armies in this conflict. So
But
the
in any
outcome makes
case,
sense.
The dragon armies don't want to attack it because
Correct.
because it has never fallen while men
Yeah.
of faith have held it. Which
Yeah.
this definitely is set up as kind of a Helm's Deep, isn't it? Structurally,
Yes.
A little bit.
in so many ways, it's a Helm's Deep.
Indeed.
They even do the ride out with me, except it's like not a good ride out with me. It's a ride out with me, Sturm. I want us all to die.
Yeah, it was a rush.
You can't say that on YouTube. Ah!
Oh fuck! I'm sorry.
Yes, you can. Well, we also can't say any kind of profanity on YouTube, and that hasn't stopped us yet.
My Wraith video was going viral, and then I said that word near the end, and YouTube demonetized it, age restricted it, and throttled it.
I remember.
Yeah, it's dumb. I apologize. It was it was a hardcore charge or something, I guess.
It was a druicide mission. All the druids died before they even made it to the field.
A sewer slide.
Yeah.
Oh god, see, I hate all of this.
Yes, all the knights stood and one spoke up and said, "Sir, this is an unaliving mission."
Oh god, yeah.
We're some kind of unalive squad.
Yeah. The unalive unit.
Can I get off Mr. Bones' wild ride?
Absolutely not.
Nope, sorry.
That was for all of my old heads out there on the internet.
Yeah. Mr. Bones' wild ride? Did you say Mr. Bones? Not Mr. Toad?
Yeah, Mr. Bones.
Mr. Bones' wild ride.
Yeah, it's a good
Why is he Mr. Bones, not Mr. Toad? Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Do you not know
now.
about Mr. Bones' wild ride?
I think I might be older than you.
Okay, we'll have to
for
send
me,
that
the only
to you
wild
later.
ride is Mr. Toad. The only wild ride is Mr. Toad's wild ride. A critical thematic necessary distinction. No.
All right. Well, we'll send you Mr. Bones' wild ride later.
Please do.
But for
I'm
now,
so
we
curious.
find out that in the intervening time, while Derek has been losing at politics, I said in the summary that it was because he's clearly floundering in command, but we don't know that for sure. But I'm assuming it's part of it. Probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
Everyone can see he's failing, which is why he's also kind of losing the knights. And we see Sturm is doing a lot better in command, and a bunch of the knights are really looking up to him, especially the ones in his command.
Yes. Yeah, they'd grown to revere their disgraced leader, as it were.
Yeah.
Which only makes so much sense. I mean, they're the youngest knights. We already have established that they are kind of, they're not every man a Sturm, but like they kind of are still young enough to be idealistic, right? They kind of want that from the order. And then like along comes Sturm, who's not just Sturm, right? Like Sturm for us has always been like the goody two shoes who's too good. But like in their eyes, he's like Sturm the bad boy.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, the political pendulum has swung. They made being a good guy being a rebel now. So now we've got unbridled optimism being the new punk. It's just like Superman.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like in the movie, you know. Oh my god. God. What was the actor? It's like all of a sudden like Sturm like, you know, takes off like his helmet or something and he's been recast. Now it's James Dean playing Sturm or something like that.
Actually, to be honest,
the young knights are like, oh yeah.
What is the name of that new guy who just played Superman? He actually would make a solid Sturm cast.
Ooh. Yeah. I might want an older character. Like, I don't know. Who would I cast as Sturm now that we have the full arc of Sturm's life?
I mean,
I mean,
Maybe
David
just toss in
Cornsweat
some-
is the same age as Sturm. He's 32.
True.
Just get a little gray in his hair, and you're there.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. He does need
I'm
to
thinking
step up
about-
that mustache
Hang on,
game,
look,
mind
yeah.
you.
Let
I'm
me
fan casting a little
hang on,
bit in my head where I'm like,
let me drop this
De Niro
picture in our
looking.
podcast chat of listeners. This is useless to you, but I just dropped the picture of him looking a little more Sturm like. He's got a little
Mhm.
Yeah,
mustache
honestly,
there. He's got the hair.
So, throw in some graying around the temples, and I think we could do it.
Yeah, I think we're there.
I just want
he
that.
needs a
I just
thicker
want that
mustache.
nose. I just want the nose. I want this. I want Sturm's nose. You know, that's all I'm asking for is Sturm's nose.
Ah, God. Yeah, it just needs a better mustache, but
Noses can be surprisingly transformed with a little makeup work.
True. No, that's true. That's true. In my head, I'm fan casting though. I'm like, who also looks a lot like? Who looks a lot like Sturm? You know.
Anyway, fan casting aside, because we'll be here
Yes.
all day if we start doing that. Maybe we'll
It's
do that
true.
as
Who would you cast as Sturm? Put it in the comments.
yeah.
who would you cast as Sturm?
Talk about it on the Discord.
Yeah.
Okay, where were we? Yeah, Sturm's a rebel. He's really cool. He's kind of punk. He's absolutely flourishing in this position. Even
Mhm.
though he's a lot more grim about this task, he's like, well, Derek's obviously going to get us all killed here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And he decided I'm not about that life. I am not going to die here, of all places.
Yep.
Still not ready for this.
And then yeah, as we said, oh, does he do the charge in this chapter? I don't think so. Yeah, it's next chapter.
Let's see here. On the
Yeah,
following.
he keeps telling Lorana to leave because everyone's gonna die in this tower.
Yep. Dragon army numbering in the thousands waited upon the field. The knights needed the dragon lances. There was no one but her to take the lances to the knights. She ignored Gunther's command to return to Sancrist.
Mm-hmm.
And then Derek.
Oh,
is
hang on. We
Derek.
should talk a little bit about the situation with Palanthas as well. It's kind of in the
Okay.
background, but it's important, especially for next book.
Okay.
So the situation with Palanthas is it's like the most beautiful city in the world, and they're like, oh, thank God, the knights are here to die, so we don't have to, and there will be no dragon fire marring our beautiful walls. And the knights are like, well, your city's the best defended place. Like we could probably hold back the dragon armies if you just let us defend you. And Palanthas is just like, absolutely not. That might damage our beautiful city. You guys go die over there, and we hope you win. We don't really have a plan B if you don't win, but we hope you win.
Yeah.
And Sturm manages to talk just enough sense into them to be like, okay, fine. We'll send you some supplies too. That's it. So we've already
you
set
don't
up
die from starvation or something.
Yeah. We've set up Palanthas a fair bit just with this little background story arc in the background here. And it's gonna really rise to the surface in book 3. I love Palanthas. I can't be mad at it. It feels
It's a
like
good place.
Dragonlance home to me.
It's a good place. I have considered several times in the past, although I've never been able to actually run the Dragonlance Chronicles fully. I've always liked the idea of starting it in Palanthas potentially instead of Solus.
I could go
just
for it.
because
Yeah.
of
I'm
right, just because of how centrally important Palanthas is, right?
I am
love that
looking
city.
at a beautiful map on the Dragonlance fandom wiki, and I do have some issues with it.
Oh?
Yeah, mostly just for the defense purposes. Like, the majority of the defense is clearly going to be in the old city while holding up the passes here. And again, I don't have a good enough map, and this is just the only one I could find.
Well, I think, from what I understand, Palanthas has the equivalent of the Theodosian walls, like the impregnably large walls that are too big for medieval times.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
again is what looks like is surrounding the old city in the Nobles Hills. Is it looks like that part is walled off. Well, the rest of the city just looks like it's more or less open, but it is surrounded by mountain passes. So, which is a solid natural defense. Just ask Switzerland.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, and
that is just an Austin thing. I like maps.
You do like maps, and it's a
I
good
love
map.
maps.
And one of the cool things about the map actually is that it kind of Palanthas is very unique, right? So one of of course, the reason most of the city is outside of their walls is because when cities were built with walls, that restricts their growth, and so in order to continue to grow, they have to grow outside of the walls. But but also, if you look, it's got this wheel and spoke design, right? Which is not a city design that we find in antiquity over much.
No, not really.
We really only strike on it actually with the construction of and design of like Washington D.C. So like I think that there's a sort of a strong, especially in Palanthas is this great white city and so on. A lot of white marble in Palanthas, just like there is in DC. I think that I'm not gonna double down on this and say there's definitely a connection meant to be a thematic connection, but I do think that there's a relationship between Palanthas and DC somehow.
I mean, I could see that from what you have told me of like Palanthas being the major city, and
it is sort of in a future Ansalon where the very small continent has been unified. Palanthas would no doubt, I think, end up its capital city for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's enough talking about Palanthas.
But yes,
for my sake.
Yes.
Derek does his great coup de grace in chapter 11 to win politically by getting everyone killed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just before that, the sad moment that ends chapter 10. Right? The abandoning of the dragon lances.
Right. Because Derek says they're stinky.
Derek says they're stinky, and even Sturm kind of is like, well, we're
not going to be fighting dragons. They're not going to be
the dragons
there.
aren't sieging us down.
And I mean, we don't really want to train with them, so they did get blanketed in snow. Boy, howdy, if only they had some training with dragon lances.
If only. And so if
only
the
they looked at the
lance,
it just like brought them with them.
Yeah. Alas.
I'm not ready for this.
And so that's a sad image, much like the foreshadowing at the start of chapter 11.
Yes.
Much like the sad foreshadowing wherein Dear Sturm says his opening words are, I should have liked above all things to have seen Huma's tomb.
Mentally, he's already dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And not to call more attention to the foreshadowing as I want to do, but the foreshadowing doesn't end there, because Sturm is saying this to his friend Flint, and Flint, is like, you will see the tomb. Don't worry about it. And says, he's like, what does Flint say? You will, said the dwarf, when this is finished, we'll go back. You drew a map. Not that it's likely to be any good. We'll go there together. Just damn it, Wise. Damn it, Wise.
Yeah.
Damn it.
She's a monster, and I'm still mad.
We'll go there together. Just remember those words.
I get it, but I'm not ready for this. All right, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Carry on without me.
So that's a sad start to the chapter. And now my cat is haranguing me because she was very greatly affected by Sturm's death. It affected her significantly.
Whom amongst us?
But the knights all go on this one great charge, and Sturm is left in a position where he finally outright is forced to break his oath. This is the first time where he can't politic around it. There's no room for interpretation. He just outright breaks his oath.
He has to make a choice.
And
Which
you
I
can
think is
see-
interesting.
You can see the spiral in his mental state from here of like,
Mhm.
and obviously he couldn't have like he did make the right choice in not joining the charge, right? But like, you know, you can see that from here on, he's like, he's kind of done with the whole oath in a lot of ways. He does still
Yeah.
like try and pay it service, try and do the right thing, but like he's very clearly like, well, what's this bloody thing good for? Even this oath, the
Mhm.
measure, like it's not gonna help. It's impossible to live by it and still like be a good person. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Yep. Yep. There's an interesting, and I don't know if this is intentional, but as I had said earlier, you know, a lot of the D&D writers were history buffs and war buffs and things at the time. There's an interesting moment that always comes to mind for me because one of my favorite historic figures from the Civil War is Captain James Longstreet, and who was actually a captain on the Confederate side of the army. Right, he was with General Lee at Gettysburg, and this was the same argument, the argument that Sturm is making, to sort of be like, no, Derek, you shouldn't do this, is the same argument that Longstreet made. And of course, Longstreet, as it turned out historically, was in fact vindicated. He was in fact a pretty good guy. And he killed a whole lot of Ku Klux Klan members in New Orleans with the help of some locals. But he made the same argument, and he also broke his. He ended up breaking his oath to the Confederate Army and sort of leaving, and was remembered ignominiously in the South for a very long time.
Yeah.
But ironically remembered quite well among Union veterans.
That checks out.
And and so I think that there's an interesting, and of course his advice was disregarded, and it led to a very, you know, obviously the significant loss that ultimately cost the Confederate side the war. So I don't know if there's a connection there, but again, much like Palanthas in DC, like I'm not going to go and say this is definitely this, but again, I think that there is perhaps a relationship to American military history, just like there is with sort of architectural history between DC and Palanthas in this conflict. Something to deep dive on, I suppose, and maybe in its own video someday.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, good old Sturm. He was right.
He was,
basically.
You know who else was
this
right?
Is...
Tasselhoff was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
he
Tasselhoff
goes
is
a
always
wandering.
right.
He goes a wandering. Everyone's like, well, you can't go in there because it's the High Clerist Tower, and we don't have a High Clerist. And Tasselhoff is like, yeah, but you do have a Tasselhoff, and he goes in.
Yep. Right on in. Good old Tass. He can get anything done. I mean, once again, he's just redemption after redemption for the character.
Again, like I've been saying since I really got into liking Tasselhoff and reading the series, is people who say bad things about Kender are typically, they've just played with people probably who didn't understand how to roleplay Kender, or like myself, read things on the internet about people who didn't know.
Yeah. Well, and they also just dislike, I think a lot of the time too, is just a general, it's the age-old classic conflict between people who are fond of grimdark versus, say, like sort of, I don't know what we would call it, but, you know, grimdark is the version of conflict without hope, right?
Well, yeah.
Without positivity. And characters like Tasselhoff consistently acknowledges the reality of the situation around him, but he always does so with positivity and optimism. And that's also the energy he brings whenever he is part of a solution, right? He's always the optimistic solution to like a problem that nobody else thinks can be solved. And I think like that a lot of the people who hate Kender,
you should not disrespect the door by locking it. Doors are for opening, obvious.
That's perfect, Will. That's like the perfect fuck. I can't even go any further than that, except to say people who dislike Tasselhoff dislike optimism. They just want the story to be grim.
Yeah, I think the words you might be looking for is noble bright. Is the opposite of grimdark.
I think that's kind of the
No.
Tumblr
Yeah.
version of attempting to find a word for it, but I don't think it's a very descriptive term. I know it was like
Yeah.
it was like hashed out on like online or not online politics, online
Yeah.
conversations, but I
No.
don't think it's an actual
I-
4-point axis.
I
of
think-
I
grim
don't
and
think
dark.
the word-
so either, but you know,
I think the word we're looking for is just epic. Not epic in the sense of whoa, that was epic, but epic in the legendary mode, right? This is it's an epic story, so the conflict and the risks are going to be high, but the need to rise up against those with again optimism.
I think the
for
word
a-
may
you know.
may just be sincere.
Hmm? Oh,
Which I
that
mean, I
doesn't
guess as
sound
a
like real
genre,
word,
as a
though.
genre term, isn't that useful. But in terms of just the attitudes, grimdark versus sincere for sure. But you don't have
if we
sincere fantasy as a genre description.
if we add one more word, if we add operatic to it, we can call it synseparatic and sound very smart until people realize that it's not a word at all.
Yeah, but we can choose to ignore all of those people, as I do all the time.
Yes. So the synseparatic story
Can confirm is new genre. Don't look too much into it.
Synsepara.
Please start tagging things with this term on various things.
Yep.
Yes, synseparatic.
SINCEPORE.
We're one viral TikTok away from being very obnoxious with this new thing and forcing everyone.
Oh my god! Can we get on TikTok for
if you have a TikTok
this?
account? If you're a listener with a TikTok account, spread it far and wide, please. Clips make things happen.
We can't give you anything, but you'll get a thumbs up.
Yeah. So, in fact, the chapter does also, thanks, just before we get to Tassoff being the solution, even the chapter seems to call out the fact that the building was designed a little bit funky. Flint hates it. Everybody hates it. Nobody feels good about it. And yeah, then Tasselhoff runs in, and what do Tass find?
Well, Tass finds something covered in a lot of dust.
Yeah.
I know this is next chapter that it gets revealed, but it's so funny that Tass is like, I can't stop finding dragon orbs.
They're just flying one because
it is a bit silly that 3 get introduced in one book, and you could be mad about it, but then the fact that Tass calls it out is why can't I stop finding them? That makes it work. It's fine now.
It's the perfect use of lampshading, right?
I'm not saying that Tass is attracted to the artifacts are attracted to Tass's very being, but I'm not saying that.
Yeah. It's such a good moment. Of course, I think that it's almost for Tass finding them all the time. I think it's almost like a Hobbit thing, right? Like the ring, and so on. The closest person they have to someone who won't use the ring is a innocent little Hobbit creature, theoretically.
Yeah.
I think in this case, it's kind of the same. Like Tasselhoff is the least likely to try and use or be led astray by the orbs, and therefore he is the one whom divine providence, wink, wink, guides toward finding them. That's always been my impression, anyway. My assumption.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think I could be wrong, but I think that the actual only way to destroy a dragon, or at least in second edition, I think, and again I could be wrong, is that one of the criteria is that the person destroying it has to actually be someone who genuinely doesn't want to use it. I think. Could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listeners, tell me if I'm wrong. Look it up in your old books. I know you have them.
I mean, I've got my 3.5 Dungeon Masters guide.
No, that doesn't count. So, does not count. Only second edition. Did we? So to jump back, did we discuss the choice that Sturm makes at this point in this chapter yet? What
Which
he says
to disobey?
Yes. Well, his little speech where Derek is trying to charge him formally with breaking the measure. Is this chapter, or am I a chapter ahead? I think I might be a chapter ahead.
It would have to be this chapter because Derek's not around next chapter.
Yes, we're in chapter. We are in chapter 11, the Knight's Riding Forth. Yeah. So right there at the end, because of Sturm's...
To the abyss with the measure.
Yes.
Where has it gotten us?
Yes. Divided, jealous, and crazed. Specifically calling out Derek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who is a jealous and crazed force for division by this point in the series, which is just, again, unfortunate. And then Derek responds with, pray for my death, Sturm Brightblade, or by the gods, I'll slit your throat at the execution myself. What a guy. What a guy. What a great way to maintain morale.
To be
Derek
honest,
is a dick.
To be honest, I have one critique for Sturm here. If he's already breaking the measure, break the measure to duel Derek to the death here and save the lives of all the knights.
Right.
If you're already going to break the measure, just do it.
I think
That's
one
fair.
of the issues you might run into is, what if he doesn't win?
Or, if he wins too without, in some ways, I think Derek narratively, like I think that would be dramatic, but I think narratively Derek needs to be undone by his own hand, right? And his own failures, because otherwise his supporters will always exist.
That's true.
Right. They'll always be able to say, well, Sturm killed him outside of the measure, no less, right? Like this happened and knows Derek was right all along. If Derek dies according to his own failures, then there's really no argument to continue supporting him.
And Sturm's perfect
in secret,
parabel does not work as well if he does that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
And
then
finally
they charge off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go into glorious melee combat, and I think it works out great for them.
I don't know. I haven't read the next chapter yet. I think they win.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Like nobody corrects me on this one.
No,
I think they
because
just win.
Because after all, Huma, as they say right here, Huma had ridden to glorious victory, and the footmen marched, their footsteps beating a tattoo upon the stone pavement. So, that's cool. That's clearly the preamble to a great military victory.
Yeah.
Except that Sturm is standing silently in the courtyard.
I'm reading that the next chapter is called Death on the Plains.
Oh.
Yeah, because of all
must
of
be
the
referring
dead
to
dragon
Baracus.
armies.
They must
Right?
be referring to Commander. No, they must be referring to Commander Baracus. Yeah, I think you're right, Austin. It's about the about the dragon armies and Baracus. Because
that's gotta be
the
it.
art seems to be a dead Solamnic knight and a dead Solamnic helmet.
No, I think that was actually a fight with Baracus, and it's just the knight. I think Derek's helmet just fell off epically so that his hair could blow majestically in the wind in this military victory against
As he
Kitiara's
redeems
commander.
himself.
Yeah, who I think actually was familiar with the games Kitiara likes to play. By the way, just the way they end that chapter.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, probably.
He definitely did. He's definitely had a hand. Had a hand in filling that niche at least once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the book is over right about now. So good time. We don't have to carry on.
No. I just want to say just add one more to Kitiara's body count, right? So just right now she's got a body count of 2. You just ding ding. Okay, 2. That's 2. Let's just keep track.
Hey, not that it actually matters. Like
no. This is boasting material for Kitiara.
Oh yeah,
fair.
I am 100% on board with Kitty. I would. Okay, I would. No matter what side of the conflict, if I were teleported into this story, I would multiple times.
Who's among us?
Yeah.
So just Yes. So no shade there to the Dark Lady who serves the Dark Queen. Damn. The Dark Queen's favorite, in fact. But yeah, so chapter 12, Death on the Plains, and Tasselhoff's discovery. Yeah.
Yeah, the knights,
Look at
they
that.
all die.
Oh man.
Except for one, who dies
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
No.
It's a struggle.
It's Derek. He comes back.
Oh,
Derek.
wait, does Derek die? Oh,
Yeah, he
why
does.
am I so happy?
He comes back and he's like, "Oh, you guys, you missed it. It was a glorious victory. We routed the enemy." And
We won,
they,
Which is
guys.
not true.
they get him with the, yeah, sure thing. Close your eyes, buddy.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
it's gonna be okay,
Mhm.
friend.
Yep.
I mean, I personally, I understood why they said, "Yeah, friend, it's okay, you got him." Because the poor lad already lost his mind. Just let him go out
Let him
with
have
happy
it.
thoughts.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Sturm who gives him that dignity, which is
Yeah, because Sturm is a good
high ground
person.
yeah. Mm-hmm. He's like, no matter whether or not Derek is mad, even if he's living in a world concocted by his madness, in that world, he's dying bravely, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he died a
So-
hero
yeah.
in that world. Not in like
And
the
his-
real world, but in his made-up world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Derek's last word is victory.
Indeed.
Damn. After getting so many people killed.
After getting at least 1,200 hundreds of knights. I don't know how much we would quantify hundreds.
Probably
there was-
hundreds. Yeah, I think there's around 300 knights there, aren't there? There was around 300.
That was our guess.
Yeah,
guess, yeah.
there was about 100 to 200 knights, so he got 1,200 just dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
In a
guess
very,
personally.
very obvious ambush.
Yeah. And I would guess for every knight, probably like between 5 and 10 footmen.
Well, as far as we know, none of the footmen made it off of the field, right?
Oh, definitely
think
not, no.
I think it was
Yeah.
a wholesale slaughter, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I suspect that Derek is the one to make it back because he's the one who fled the field.
Well,
In the
no,
end-
because they captured the generals, right? Is
Yeah.
what they
Yeah, they did
said.
capture the generals.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's
I
right,
mean,
that's right.
there's a non-0% chance that there were survivors. Chances are the foot soldiers who decided to break in the route, and
Mhm. The footmen, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
the
I want to hear you
peoples.
say it, Austin. I'm
not-
Austin.
I'm not saying it.
Tell us down in the comments, which side are you on?
Hashtag team footmen or hashtag team foot soldiers.
The foot folk. How about that?
The foot folk. That sounds.
That sounds incredibly dirty. We should probably cancel that one. Just
Let us
edit
know
that
in the
one.
comments. Are you a foot folk?
Welcome to
You
our
look-
enchanted forest, stranger. We're the foot folk. We have to leave, guys. We have to get out of here now.
yeah.
No, you should stay with us.
You have to take off your shoes when you come into our village.
Uh,
The
I
grass is really
regret-
soft.
I regret absolutely nothing. I don't even give a shit. No, fuck it.
Lorana and everybody refuses to leave. Sturm is
Mhm.
saying, like, I can't leave because, like, we're obviously all going to die if we hold down this tower, but so will Palanthus. And, like, code, measure, whatever. There are innocent people there. I'm not just gonna back down, even if it's doomed. And
Mhm.
Lorana's like, well, I'm not gonna leave. I'm obviously not gonna leave either. I'm not gonna leave you behind. Ask yourself, would it be beneficial to have me? And Sturm goes, yeah, I mean, obviously it would be.
Yeah, you're the
So,
only person out of these knights who have any combat experience.
You're also
Yeah.
so good with a bow. You know how to use dragon lances. Like, obviously it would be good to have you, but I'm also asking you to leave anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We do get one crowning moment of badassery from Lorana in this. I believe it's this chapter when the bodies get brought back. She does shoot the guy in the arm.
Oh yeah, we get the classic
Yeah.
a knight's honor won't let you attack me. Poing, I'm not a knight.
Yeah, I am no man.
Yeah, that was the I am no man, and I love that each and every time I see it.
Mm-hmm. This chapter also just has a lot of really great imagery.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really kind of ramp, like night settled over the tower like a thicker, heavier fog. The knights lighted torches, but the flame only peopled the darkness with ghosts. Like,
yeah. Oh God, so many good words.
Beautiful, beautiful.
See, I mean, I have a lot of respect for all of Dragonlance, but if all of Dragonlance read and felt like this run of chapters, people would like this would be like the most popular fantasy series of all time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. 100%. Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I do rank it just below. I do rank it like right around the same level as like Lord of the Rings and all of that stuff. We've had that conversation before, I think, about the importance of the Dragonlance Chronicles at a minimum.
Yeah, at minimum, it like in terms of its importance, yeah, it's super influential.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're running long, so we should keep this going.
Yeah,
Yes.
we should power through.
Chapter so the last thing in chapter 12 is talking about the dragon orb. Or in chapter 12. Lorana wants to know is bummed because they don't know how to use it, but Tasselhoff reveals that he does because he has his glasses.
Yeah.
And that Nosh apparently, so perhaps there was more to Fizban's help or suggestion than just feeling bad for the little guy. Nosh had discovered writing inside the orb. Yeah, that there were letters carved inside of the orb swirling around in the mist, written in the language of magic.
Which no one speaks unless they have a magic item for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, shame those magic items don't just grow on trees for Tasselhoff.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we get a final warning as Tass remembers the words of Fizban. A dark path and a light path. Death of those you love, but you have the courage. And then he slowly puts the wire frames over his pointed ears. Very dramatic.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that. Because of what happens.
But that brings us to chapter 13. Unlucky 13.
Unlucky chapter 13. The sun rises, the darkness descends.
It descends. Yep. And we have a really lovely silhouette here. As the art. A knight with his hair flowing in the wind, standing against a dragon and a spear of some kind. A spear that I remember very much as a dragon.
Is Sturm brooding, reflecting on his philosophy, the fact that it's so difficult to live up to it. And it says all his life he followed the code and measure. The code was all he had left, but the measure was gone. It had failed.
Yep.
Oh
man.
All right.
You got to talk about this one,
this kind of loops back a little bit. You remember way back in book 1, Sturm was saying that one of the things he admired so much about Tanis is that Tanis lived up to what Sturm thought a knight should be, and he didn't need this code to do it. He was just good.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of one of the be-all end-alls is just be good. And I think that's what really matters.
Yeah. And here he is at the end of all this, seeing that, this oath that was supposed to make the knights good didn't do that. And one of the most heroic things Sturm has ever done was breaking the oath.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an interesting part in all of that too, where he's like thinking about the way, because it's not just Tanis. I mean, at this point in his arc, right? He's also thinking about like the things he learned from Flint, from Tasselhoff, even from Raceland, right?
Yeah.
Where it sort of says like they taught him to see the world through other eyes, slanted eyes, smaller eyes, even hourglass eyes. Knights like Derek saw the world in stark black and white. Sturm had seen the world in all its radiant colors, in all its bleak grayness. So it's almost like in his own sort of internally, he's kind of resolved his relationship with everybody, right?
Yeah.
By acknowledging what he's learned from them.
I mean, he does, if I recall, he does even say that he misses Raceland, because having a magic user is always kind of helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You'd kill for one right now.
Which is probably the closest thing as like a straight up compliment.
Oh no! I mean, I think they had taught him to see the like. He's specifically acknowledging to himself. He's learned to see the world through Raceland's eyes, right? This is him internally acknowledging that he understands and values the perspective that Raceland has been bringing to the table the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, for me, it reminds me a lot, like these sort of quiet moments at the beginning of this chapter for Sturm, reminds me a lot of like, not knightly movies, not movies of chivalry per se, right? But movies about like samurai movies, because oftentimes before like a particularly a samurai character in one of these old movies, these old Chanbara movies dies, they have these like this like, a character's about to die when he's being given moments of quiet reflection, right?
Yeah.
That happens consistently just before the big battle where the character where the samurai falls. And it seems like Sturm is definitely being given that moment here. This is his time to reflect. And then he goes. And it's sad.
He does go. So we get the Lord of the Rings style kind of time skip of the battle, which I appreciate. I don't love my play-by-play readings of battles. I know I'm very much the minority the minority in terms of fantasy readership, but I just have no patience for a blow by blow thing. Just give me the character moments in a battle. That's all I need. And that's kind of what we get. We get told like, the first day of battle ends. Half of the people are dead, and you gotta hold out another like at least 2 days for there to be any help, and that's if help is coming from planet.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. If it's coming. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then Tass and Lorana finally say, all right, times are desperate. There are dragons now looming on the horizon. Let's crack open that orb.
Yeah.
Yeah, just cracking open the orb with the boys.
Yep.
But
let's make
they will need time to do so.
And Sturm volunteers to give them that time.
He does.
And Flint remarks that like as Sturm is fully devoted towards doing this, that he's got this like look on his face that like he needs to do this. And Flint remarks that like he's looked like that forever. He's always been resolved to die by the oath.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't live by it, he can at least die by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's for such a dramatic moment. I mean, it's good that we are being prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember as a kid reading this, I was like, "Hey, where's the dream where he gets saved?"
Right?
He's gonna do some really stuff, stuff, and then he's like, I don't even know how to use that
How
thing.
does he survive this?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the long, drawn out epilogue about him? Where is can we get some more Boromir related stuff? He dies surrounded by like 30 dead dragons? No.
Right. No. Well, and it's
No,
so interesting. Keep going.
Like it was a beautiful and meaningful death because he
Yes.
did buy them the time that they needed, which caused the battle to turn. And right, so words are hard.
It's true.
It's the death had meaning, and honestly, whenever it comes to like, for me personally, when it comes to like, PC character deaths, because I relate this all to 3.5. That's the kind of death that everybody wants their character to go out on.
It's true.
True.
And I think part of what makes it so powerful is, in a sense, the tragedy, but also like how much meaning it has going forward. Sturm's death. Not only does it motivate so many people, it also like, there's the tragedy of how meaningless Sturm feels that his life has been, to live by this oath that has failed him in his final moments. And even so, he's going to, take a deep breath, and he's going to live out his last moments by that oath anyway. And just how incredibly admirable that is. But also, in a sense, Sturm is kind of the Solamnic Jesus, where he kind of dies to redeem the oath in a way. And going forward, the oath will actually like it's got some soul behind it now that it didn't have before.
Yeah, I think so.
He died for their sins.
I think he died to. I mean, I guess he did die for their sins in that way, but yeah, he died to remind everyone that the oath is supposed to mean something. It's not just like some rules you follow.
Yeah, it's not empty words. It's not a strict guideline that this is the only thing that there's ever been. But it's supposed to mean something, and you're supposed to do shit with it.
One of the fundamental problems that's been facing the Knights of Solamnia for a long time, and this was sort of discussed, I think, by Sturm directly, and then also in some of the narration surrounding Sturm in previous chapters, like when he was actually being put on trial and everything, right? Is that the Knights of Solamnia, like their symbol for a very long time, right, was Huma. And so much time has passed since Huma's day that like that symbol has become it's not even myth anymore. It's just sort of reduced to the level of like folklore, including to the way like a lot of the knights feel about it. Like a lot of the knights don't even necessarily believe that Huma was a real person, right? So the power and necessity of that symbol, or the power of that symbol, has faded, while the necessity of the symbol has like remained constant, and that's why their whole order has kind of fallen into disrepair and sort of immorality and all of these other things. And so like, yeah, I don't think Sturm necessarily, he doesn't die for the sins of the order, because his death doesn't redeem the order of knights.
No.
What instead he does is his death allows him and his story to step into the place that is occupied by Huma, which we've been seeing, much like Flint says, this has been on your face since day one. This has been in the books since day one, right? Like, even though like Sturm never sees Huma's tomb, he wants to, but ultimately, the gods, I think, Providence, what have you, don't feel it's necessary for him to do so.
I think this is a story that really probably weirdly reflect, or it's more powerful in the 2020s here than it was back in the day, because we are over and over facing this nihilism in our society. And we joked about Superman earlier. The movies come out, and it's very much about the whole like optimism and caring and kindness is the real punk rock. I think Sturm's story is very similar in a lot of ways, where it's, just being good and like being kind and caring and self-sacrificing. These things are what is needed to defeat nihilism. Sturm may not have defeated the dragon, but he did defeat nihilism. And it goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's why he has these, like, it's why the white stag is revealed to him. It's why all of these symbols that are revealed to Huma are consistently revealed to Sturm throughout these first 2 books of the trilogy. It's because he's meant to step into that place, to become the symbol that the Solamnic Knights need to be able to look to in order to see, like, that like you say, the nihilism that sort of infected their order is like not the correct path forward. So yeah, it's he is in many, he's Solamnic Jesus in the sense that he is the martyr that is necessary for the knights, I think, to sort of reclaim their correct perspective. Even if, like, they still have a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah.
To sort of reclaim the affection of the people, which we'll see in, I think, the 3rd book. Yeah.
I think so. I
we're gonna
remember.
find out.
I think
but
you and I both seem to be pretty foggy on this 3rd book, so at least these are the effects that I'm remembering having on the order.
yeah. Well, it's such a, it's
we
because it's
wrong.
the denouement. The 3rd book, I think, is a more mellow read. There's a lot less adrenaline in the 3rd book, right? So I get it confused with the 2nd book. They kind of smush together in my mind. But we've talked a lot about the meaning surrounding Sturm's death. What about the death itself?
Oh, before we get into the death itself, there is a little moment leading up to it where Sturm and Lorana kiss, which is very unexpected. But I just want to chat about that, what everybody thinks. How does it read? I don't think it reads quite like a chaste friendship kiss before the final death. But it's also like not like, oh, they love each other. It's more just like, to me, it reads like just a moment of comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, like, well, I think you're right that it's not necessarily, it's not devoid of romance.
No.
I would say that it is chaste in the classic sense of chaste, right? It is it is not a horny kiss. It is not a kiss of passion. The intention is chaste. Yeah, I think that it's Sturm, because I think we kind of get hints all along that, like, Sturm is obviously, Alhana is kind of like his one true love in many ways. Yeah. But, like, Sturm was also kind of into Lorana, right?
Yeah.
And so he's the one who, like, leans in and, like, kisses her. It's not the other way around. Yeah. I think in some ways, like, that's him being a man. Like, not in the sense of, like, God, what a man, but, like, that's him being a person, right? Yeah. He knows, he kind of has a sense of what he's walking into. And he's kind of like, this is a strong word, but he's like claiming a moment that he's wanted for a while, so that he can kind of go into the upcoming moment without any, like, real regret. And then he says, like, the nice things to her. And then he goes, I think that's the sense of it. Like, he's not trying to take Tannis's woman, he's just trying to, like, have something for himself before he goes.
He's riding into his inevitable death because he's a man versus 3 dragons. I get it.
Yeah.
I also do really like the whole, like, tell Tannis. Nah, don't tell Tannis anything. He knows me.
Yeah. He'll know what was in my heart.
Yeah. So on to the moment itself.
Yes. Sturm is already resolved to fight the High Lord, right?
Yeah.
What strikes you? What
Will? Strikes me is not how epically he goes out, but how helpless he is.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, Yeah,
well,
will you
he
go?
doesn't really accomplish very much in this fight. He like swings at them, and he does do pretty good attracting them with the arrows. But once they're there, he really can't do anything. He doesn't like get in some good hits or whatever. He just like swings his sword, it does nothing, and then they stab him and he dies.
Yeah, I mean, he does wound the dragon, but it's not a vicious wound.
No, of course
Yeah.
not.
And because, I mean, again, this is my 3.5 brain. He's not using a magic sword, and a lot of dragons have like DR15 to magic.
Oh, they can
so,
only get killed by Dragonlance. There was nothing he
Yeah.
could do with that sword, even if it was
Yeah.
magic.
You see, and
Yep.
that is why he should have brought the pointy stick.
I'm
So-
assuming
yeah.
when they say that he doesn't know how to use it, I assume it's not just stab it. He probably needs to like channel some energy into it in some way. He has to attune to the thing, which he
I
can't
don't-
just do just by stabbing the dragon lance.
I don't know. Like, it made it seem pretty obvious that if you just stab a dragon a bunch of times, it'll go down via dragon lances.
Perhaps. I think that in terms of helplessness, it's not the right word because we have a couple things here that I'd like to touch on. For is just that one, Sturm doesn't know who he's fighting. Obviously,
Yeah.
In his narrative, we're still referring to the Blue Dragon High Lord as he and
Yeah.
him, right? So he thinks he's standing against this man who leads his army, etc. But he has this whole moment, especially once he hears the trumpet from the battlefield, that he's dreamt about this moment before, right?
Yeah.
And it says here, Sturm got hold of himself, and which to me is like any feeling of helplessness is gone, right? Everything else
Yeah.
was gone. His ideals, his hopes, his dreams. The knighthood was collapsing. The measure had been found wanting. Everything in his life was meaningless. His death must not be so. He would buy Lorana time and buy it with his life, since that was all he had to give, and he would die according to the code, since that was all he had to cling to. Raising a sword in the air, he gave the knight's salute to an enemy. To his surprise, it was returned with grave dignity by the Dragon High Lord. So in this moment, I don't think he's helpless, because I think he's assessed the situation, and he's resolved to do the thing that he can. He is here to die.
Yeah.
I might agree that he's helpless in the moment if he had any other goal.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He specifically goes to this place and this moment to die so that his friends will have time that they need to turn this
Yeah.
into a victory. And
I
also,
think
I think
to clarify,
Yeah.
to clarify what I mean by helplessness, I don't mean that like he's not in control. I mean that
Mhm.
like, he doesn't like die charging into the dragon's mouth and like, carving his way up its body with the thing.
Yeah.
No, he just kind of gets dismantled. It's this character we've come to respect, and we just kind of have to watch him go with nothing that he can do about it. And I think
Maybe.
that's part of what made the scene powerful for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, he dies in essentially a single stroke, right? And sort of the way
Yeah.
the sun is positioned,
Mhm.
everything turns this enemy into a great big shadow. But like I would say that maybe the way it's written, though, because they say the Dragon High Lord raised his spear, its tip flaming in the sun. Leaning down, he thrust it deep, piercing through armor, flesh, and bone. Sturm's sun was shattered. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's dramatic. I don't know that I would say it's like simple. Like it's one stroke certainly,
yeah,
but
I don't mean
it's
it's-
operatic and it's
Yeah, it's not ignominious. It's
yeah.
It's
It just happens.
Yeah.
it just happens, and it's a very disempowered death.
Oh yeah, there's no like laying on the field as he dies and his friend's arm monologuing. There's no like
yeah.
Yeah.
poetic fading of his perspective. He just once he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
He's taken from the world.
Which sucked for me.
Yeah.
I think something else too, though, that should be pointed. I think should be discussed about the moment, though, is like how much it buys, because like it's not just about buying. For Sturm, again, he has no idea who the High Lord is. He does not know that he is facing Kitiara. an old friend, right?
Yep.
Someone who we might learn in later books he traveled with for a time,
Yes.
as besties. And also someone who is Solamnik herself, like the Uthmatar family, like they come from a Solamnik lineage, which is why she raises her sword and she recognizes who she's fighting. But even though he doesn't know this, it's because it's Kitiara who kills him, and because they have this history, right? And because even though she is a villain, she's still a person who has this history of friendship and care and concern for these people. She makes the decision to give them, like, he has no idea how much time he's buying. He thinks he's buying Lorana moments, right? That might be precious, when in fact he buys them 3 days because Kitiara is herself is affected by the death. She wants, Sturm buried properly. She wants his death appropriately mourned. She wants them to have the time. And
well,
so
I think
she stops
what
everything.
She said is her army's in complete disarray, and it is definitely going to take her 3 days to put it back together.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, please give him a good burial.
Yeah. She's not going to press things.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's a big part of why, again, sort of this concept of providence, like that's why the pieces align the way they align, right?
Yeah.
It's the only way. And with the people that they have. And I think that's pretty wild. I think it's also why Sturm dies the way he does, why it's so quick, right? Like Kitiara, get the impression, she's kind of lusty, she's kind of, playful, she's kind of she would probably play with another. She might not even give someone if it had been any other knight, she might not have given them the time of day in that battle, right? She would have just been like, no, focus on the field, right? Like, we've got to lead our troops. But I think when she sees it's Sturm, that's what pulls her into that moment as well. And she gives him a quick death. I do believe that she gives him a quick death intentionally because he was her friend once. With a spear that I swear to God, I remember being a dragon lance.
Well, we know she has one now at the end of this.
Yeah, I remember
she
her
has the dragon lance
one
now.
She does. The art of the for the next chapter of the bloodstained spear as well. I'm just like, it looks like the dragon lance in the cover. So I've always wondered, and I'm wondering again now. I'm like, is her spear what's in the logo, or is it a dragon lance that's in the logo? Because I always thought they were one and the same.
Yeah,
but they're not.
They do look alike. Now we're very late on time, so we can circle back a little bit later. Let's finish up this last little bit. So Lorana does. Funeral. Yeah, number 14. Lorana makes the dragon orb do its thing, and the dragons come screaming towards the tower, but not Kitiara's.
Yeah, because she has better control, and the dragon passed its will save.
Yeah.
The dragon fear hits everybody, but they still manage to catch the dragon, and they've got lots of dragon lances.
Yeah, and they stab the shit out of them.
They stab the shit out of them. I feel, and my understanding, I could be wrong here, is that when the recruits are stabbing with the dragon lance, it probably does nothing, but Flint is also stabbing with the dragon lance, and he knows how to make it do the thing. Result is dead dragon, regardless of the semantics.
Again, I don't know for sure. I just imagine you stab somebody enough times with a magical pointy object, eventually you'll overcome its DR.
It's really it's tough to know. We'll probably get these answers in the next book. I don't remember the mechanics of.
Yeah, like a solid probably.
I think the lance is just. I mean, I think that when they keep talking about training with the lances, I think they're really just talking about military training. I really think they're just talking about how to use this weapon properly. I don't think they're talking about like magical attunement or anything. I think it's just like, how do? Which
is kind of a problem I had with nobody knows how to use them. It's a pointy stick. It's honestly like to get all fancy with it. Yeah, it takes training, but at the end of the day, you just. You stick them with the pointy part.
I admit that the largest part of my theory here as to why it's an attunement thing rather than a military thing is because, number one, they're knights. They should obviously know how to use a lance. And number two, how much training do you need to use a pointy stick? And
It's
the fact
not
that
a
that's so
lot.
silly makes me think that it's something more than that.
See,
To be
I
fair
honestly,
to the
Oh, after you.
Oh
Auntie
yes, to
Hundy?
sort of bridge the two sides there. I think that the reason I think it's just military training, and I'm leaving AD&D mechanics out of it because obviously any fighter could pick it up and use it, as long as they had proficiency in lance, in the right kind of lance. But is that one? It is a different design than a typical lance, right? It's more like a bar. It's like a really long barbed
footman's
spear.
lance, which I imagine is different than a lance.
You mean a foot soldier's lance?
No, that one they do specify footman's lance is the weapon.
Score 1 for hashtag Team Footman.
No, you know what? No, a foot soldier's lance. Fuck you. That's why.
Yeah, a foot lance.
Yeah.
But not a foot folks lance, because a foot folks lance
the foot
is not.
Lance.
You don't wanna know.
We don't want to.
So next up in the chapter, Lorana really gets shit done. She is.
But
I
have to contradict your attunement theory.
Yes.
I think that if you're facing a dragon, it's not just about using a pointy stick. It's about using a pointy stick within melee range of a dragon. That requires specific. I think that requires particular training.
That does require
you have to know.
training.
You have to know where to stab. I don't think stabbing it in the leg, for instance, is going to matter much. Stabbing it in the wings, like you have to know a bit about where it's going, right? Where it's
but hear me out.
How to get there.
Hear me out. Lorana just says outright, yeah, I could just teach anyone to do this. It would be so fast, and then that guy can just teach everybody how to do it. That doesn't make it sound like it's a complicated. Here's how you dodge dragons. Let's drill.
I think it's just you stab here. This is where you have to stab.
Yeah,
it's point it here and get it in.
It's like fighting a dude in full plate. You want to stab him in the joints.
Yeah, leave it in for 5 seconds, then pull it out. Whatever.
Like it's that whole teaching somebody. You got to hit them in the weak spot for massive damage.
Here's the center of gravity. Just
because the dragon has a glowing red hit me here button doesn't mean everyone is going to instinctively hit the giant enemy crab for massive damage in its weak spot.
It's true. Mm-hmm. But that's just my theory. That and also again AD&D mechanics. But yes, continuing. Kitiara wants him to have the funeral.
Lorana gets has her get shit done moments here. The dragons kind of die off screen, and Lorana gets Tass away because he's sad.
Yep.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stabbing, is what I vaguely remember being described.
Oh yeah, it doesn't sound like it's fast.
No, it's a bunch of guys who are scared shitless, just jabbing pointy objects into a thing.
Described as the tortured flailings of dying dragons. Of the tortured dragon. The violent flailings of the tortured dragon.
It's it reminds me of an essay by George Orwell of shooting an elephant.
And there's another dragon who's just sitting there glaring at them in this like impotent anger, listening to its mate get stabbed to death.
Yeah.
Haunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not great. Oh boy, howdy, it is just not great.
But then they say, hey, but Sturm's dead, but his death was quick.
Yeah, his death was quick. The dragons did not receive such a an end.
Yeah, I've always personally I've always remembered the way the blue dragons die, especially when you see the original official art of the moment. It actually kind of horrifies me.
Yes.
Because it's so pragmatic and brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Like the portcullis is falling on dragons, all of this other, like the way that they're just kind of hurted, the way that their minds are taken over by, like, I'm just like, there's something like horrific. Yes. Especially for the blue dragon army, which is the dragon army that has not suffered any losses, like that hasn't had any tactical issues, right, or strategic issues this entire war so far. Like that's been their claim. Like they're hanging out in hot tubs, right? And then this moment of horror descends on their army, and it's just like, I don't know. I actually extend a lot of empathy to the Blue Dragon army at this point in the story and in my memory.
Well, at
It's-
least to these
it's absurd.
particular blue dragons.
Yeah. It's got to be demoralizing.
Oh yeah, and in particular when they come out with some of the aftermaths, they decapitate the dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And that is a solid way to get people on board with one, we can actually win this fight.
Yes.
It's a horrifying thing, but it would bring people together to think like we could actually win this thing. Because you're fighting dragons, well, you have, I don't know, pointy sticks and strong words.
Yeah. It's true. 3 days. 3 days to rebuild the army is a hell of a thing to say, which I think we'll find out what she means by rebuild the army. Because that's actually not a very long time.
No,
I think we'll find out what she means by rebuild the army in the next book.
I think like they've all scattered because they were sent to run different ways, and it's going to take 3 days to like round up everyone who's running, say, hey, get back to the fucking army.
Yeah, Will, is that how you really feel, or are you trying to conceal some plot points in the next book? Are you trying to cleverly?
Oh, sorry, I said that overly harsh. I'm sorry.
No. I'm asking. Are you sure, Will? Are you sure?
Like, because that's what I assume. Like when an army scatters and they say it's going to take a couple days to get it back into order, I just assume it's like round everyone up and bring them back together.
See, I think she means rebuild literally.
Well, the Draconians
remake, yes,
like broke and fled the field when the Dragon Orb did its
it is
thing.
True. And a lot of them died.
Like, probably, and I mean,
she's gonna need to muster a lot of Draconians, and I just think we'll see what that process looks like, and its context, and its and the way rebuild frames that context, and then
I don't know if that is a mobile operation, though.
True.
Yeah, I can honestly see it being column A and column B. Because when you see the large lizard folks who are nigh indestructible as a human mercenary start breaking and fleeing the field, routes, when they start happening, affects everybody. So you as your standard mercenary is also probably breaking the field because you don't know what the flip's going on. Nobody knows what the heck is going on. So you break and flee like everybody else. Routes are contagious, and that's why they're very, very scary.
It's true. But yes.
So what do you guys think about the meeting between Kitiara and Laurent at the tower?
Oh, it's real good.
I agree, yeah.
It is.
It's such a it's so good because it's such a meeting of like, it's like two sides of the same coin finally facing each other.
Yeah.
Right. And like, you've got the dark side of that coin with Kitiara, you've got the light side of that coin with Laurent, and they're finally able to stare each other down for which seems to have been an impossibility up until now.
Yeah.
And the reactions also couldn't be more opposed. Laurent is angry and desperate and like livid, right, at Kitiara's presence, whereas Kitiara is cool and confident and like almost happy to finally meet Laurent, right?
Yeah. Well, because you got to imagine there was probably a time where recently we can almost guarantee there was a time where they just kind of, where Tanis and her probably talked about Laurent.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure that there was a time in Kitiara's life, having known all about Laurent from like the earliest days of Tanis, because of course she was a childhood love of Tanis's, right? Kitiara knew. I'm sure there were times when Kitiara thought like, hey, maybe we'll have a threesome someday. That could be cool. Like,
yeah, that's like among us.
I'm just saying, so that's who Kitiara is. And she actually seems to be doing a lot. And part of why I say, though, I don't just think it's like a smug happy. Like, I think she's actually kind of happy to finally be able to confront Laurent and sort of be that person. Because she also does give Laurent a lot of, I wouldn't say she tries to comfort Laurent about Sturm's death, but she tries to like she intentionally goes out of her way to calm Lorana, right? To be like, hey, look, this is just war. Like, he was my friend too. Like, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything to him. In fact, I want you to treat him well. Like, which almost, I think, makes her even more significant and probably in Lorana's eyes, right? Like, she's not just like, oh, this hateful woman. It complicates things a little bit.
Yeah. And I think Kitiara comes off very chilling in the end here. Of saying like, yeah, I'm with Tannis. I've got him. And I'm not going to tell him that I killed one of his best friends. And there's kind of this implied, I'll be back in 3 days, and I'm not going to tell him I killed you either.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. She's got the lance. She's got the man. She's got the strategic high ground, essentially, like overall, or she will.
So
again,
scary.
She is.
It's not even the street. She has a literal high ground. Dragons
so
are taller
hot.
than people.
Yeah, I know. She's so hot, Will. She's so hot. Like,
scary
women are so
too scary for me.
No,
honestly,
she's I would over. Oh God.
Honestly, Auntie Hansi, we never agree on basically anything.
It's true.
But you're right. You're hands down like wood.
Yeah, no, like I got my top dragons, and Chrysanthus, of course, at the top of my list of dragons that I would. Kitiara and of women in Dragonlance, it's Chrysanthus and Kitiara. I love the evil women. I don't know what it is.
Who amongst us doesn't like a bad girl?
Right?
And I mean that with like the capital B bad, like as in evil.
Yeah, and right under there, we'll see. I think in later books is it's Chrysanthus and Kitiara, and then it's Takesis. I just God.
No, that's fair. But anyways, as much as I enjoy talking about our hashtag woods, I believe we have a funeral to go to.
We do, yes. Very sad funeral.
Very fucking sad funeral.
And a nice juxtaposition with the first book.
Scene.
The first book ends with the wedding, right? And this ends with the funeral. It's a very poetic. It's a classic poetic pairing, actually, in storytelling, right? The wedding and the funeral.
Well, it's one of the things where I'm getting a lot of my Star Wars vibes from it. Happy ending, end of a first movie. Everything is bleak and sad, end of a second movie. And here comes the Ewoks in the third movie. So I am ready for us to get the Kender army.
Yes. Well, in classic literature and theater and dramaturgy and everything else, of course, like the story that ends with a wedding is traditionally a comedy. And the story that ends with the funeral is traditionally a capital T tragedy. So that's sort of our framing. Like book 1, Autumn Twilight, that is the comedy. Not comedy as in comedy, haha, but comedy as in classic comedy, capital C comedy. This is the tragedy. Right.
Yeah. And the tragedy is used well in this case because Sturm had his own great story here, but Sturm didn't get fridged for Lorana's story, but damn is his death motivating for Lorana. We see her not complete her arc, but transition to the next part of the arc where Lorana is just the main character now.
Yeah, which I'm really looking forward to.
She like instead of eulogizing, she's just like, yeah, the world let this man down. It's time to stop screwing around. Let's get our shit together and defeat evil.
It's time for everyone to stop bickering and start acting like, adults.
Yeah.
I am going to go to Palanthas tomorrow, and we're just going to say, open the fucking gate. Look, we killed a dragon. Stop messing around. It's serious.
Yeah. It is. We need, to build an army.
We need an army to combat the bad army. And at this current juncture, people aren't getting a lot of options anymore.
And Lorana is just as bummed out about the death of Sturm as everybody else is, isn't she?
Yeah,
As all the readers are.
She is using the death of Sturm as a solid motivator. I'm using the death of Sturm to say that we're going to be back in a few weeks. We're taking a bit of a break.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are taking a break traditionally between books, but first we got to have an important talk with Austin, since this is the end of a lot of character arcs that we've been promising you for a while. So we kind of want to we want to ask you about them. First off, obviously Sturm. At the start of this, you were like, I don't really see why everyone loves this guy. We're here at the other side of his arc. We've been promising you his story looks better in retrospect. What do you think?
It does. I have grown to like Sturm. He's still not my favorite. Again, it is Tasselhoff. It's a race between Tass and Race, for very different reasons.
Yeah, I think
I
that
also.
Oh,
sorry.
Keep
After
going.
you.
No, you keep going. No, after you. Keep going.
Oh, well, thank you. I see why Sturm is a lot of people's favorite character. I can empathize with that, and I can also see where a lot of like the fantasy tropes of heroic characters like Sturm that I have inadvertently played in my time from just reading internet forum posts and all of that jazz when making D&D characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that for a hero, a lot of the time we want the hero to be the person who we want to be, right? Like we want them to be someone we would like, because we want to be like the hero, and we want to be someone. When we think about who would I be, we don't think I want to be someone I wouldn't like, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Sturm kind of is there to Sturm is there. He doesn't have to be the person that we necessarily like the entire time. And his arc from start to finish is about, becoming like not the hero that we like. He's never going to be the hero that we like. He's always going to become in time like the hero that we respect.
Yeah.
And admire, even, because that can be very different from looking up to, from liking someone.
And to add a bit to that is Sturm is a human character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has issues with people. Yeah, he's said things that he's probably, in hindsight, he regrets saying, particularly to my boy Raceland. Mad looking out. And that is, again, in retrospect, like, as I have read more of the books, I've sat and I've thought about the character, it is the thing that he's a human character, he makes mistakes, and it's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the other
character arc.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a good character art. It's masterfully done. You can like it really retrospectively makes all of those little moments with Sturm in book 1 feel a lot more powerful. Because when it's very much a story about not being able to live in the way that he's trying to live, and then instead he has to die by it. So the story doesn't make sense until you've finished it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Lorana, of course, gives them a great big speech. Not a motivating speech, but a speech that motivates.
Which is a good phrasing of that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a punch to the throat kind of speech.
Yeah,
but like in a good way.
Yeah, she's like, this is the moment when shit's gotten real.
Yeah.
It's only going to get more real from here on out. Because again, if the first book was the comedy, this is the tragedy. That means the next book is the epic.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And in the wheel of fiction, in the wheel of literature.
Yeah.
Yep. She also is. She's angry, and just in general,
she's
just
very angry.
Angry elf right now.
It's true. So, and
Yeah.
Austin, Lorana was the other character where sitting on kind of the far side of one of their arcs.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
has been your opinion of this character and how they've progressed from when you met them as essentially a naive teenage elf?
yeah, they went from a naive teenage elf to a teenage elf who lived through multiple war zones, went on a plethora of side adventures, and have come out the other side. If we were in a post-apocalypse movie, she would be about 30% more jacked and be wearing an eye patch right about now.
Oh yeah,
And I'm
punished
okay with
Lorana.
this. Yeah. No, she's great. She has definitely grown on me because, well, she matured as a character, and that is one thing I like in my in characters
Yeah,
is
I
growth.
was I was kind of going into this book. I was like, wait a second, I forgot. Did all of her character arc happen off screen during their time skip? And I'm kind of relieved here on the second half of this book to be like, no, there was still lots of character arc for her that was on
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, because
Yes.
she's also had to deal with some main character stuff in an adventure of there are things that I want to do, and then there are things that I have to do, and this
Yep.
is one of them things that I have to do.
Yep.
Because, yeah, I wanted to go find Tannis. That would be a much easier adventure for her, probably.
True.
What we as the readers know would not have been an easy adventure.
Yeah.
No.
No, not at all. There is, of course, one other elf woman in this final chapter of Winter Night.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about her.
Oh, we must.
We have
it's
to.
necessary.
We have to.
Yeah, because after all, Lorana, when she puts the star jewel on Sturm's breast, right? She mentioned she's like, had Sturm realized the power, right? Like that the star jewel, like of the bond that forged between him and Alhana, and of course he hadn't. But that is an important moment here, and probably, honestly, of the whole Death of Sturm arc, it's the moment that consistently, every time I reread it now, like this is the moment where I get like misty eyed, where I get a little where I actually get choked up.
Yeah. They never
is
had
Alhana
a chance,
kind
did
of
they?
They never did, but
No.
you know, she's there in the forest, and she's finally kind of like, she's aware that Sturm has died. She knows, right, that because of this bond that he's dead.
Yeah.
And which is a very classic moment in storytelling. The woman from afar knows that the man she loves has passed away on the field of battle. But she's about to bury the star jewel, sort of in this acknowledgement of his death, in this moment of grief, in this sense where she's about to give herself over to this sense that everything is lost. But then the star jewel begins to glow, right? And she kind of comments on it. She's like, but he's dead. I know death has claimed him. Nothing can change that. Yet why this light? And so it's really interesting because it signifies a bond that transcends death, the bond between her and Sturm, right? Almost as if Sturm himself is reaching across the shroud to like show her that, like, you know, that she's wrong about the outcome of that, the fate of the world, that darkness will win. And which is entirely plausible in the world of Dragonlance, where like, you know, it's a world with gods. Death is legitimately not the end of life for people. They just it's a transition. It's a state change, not an actual end. And so it's very important because much like Lorana knows what she has to do, you know, it's a strong sign that Alhana now also knows what she has to do to support this effort, and that she's going to make it happen. So it's good. I like it, and I think it's also
the elves could sure use a level head coming in.
Yeah, and also it's a nice sign, I think, it's a final sign from Wise and Hickman as well to the reader that, like, yes, we killed Sturm here. He died the way he died, but that doesn't mean he's like gone, right?
Yeah.
Not only will his influence carry through the story, the influence he's had on the people around him, but like nothing dies in a world with magic. You can still, like, any connection you have to the character is still It's still real and it's still living.
Yeah.
Yep. Which I like. I think it was a good way to end the funeral.
I think so. Well, I think that's probably us here.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so.
This has
Boy,
been
howdy, it is late.
yeah, this has been a great book, you guys. I'm so excited for us to get into it. As I said, there's going to be a time gap, which means we're basically going to skip the next upload, which is good because we've been behind. So this lets us catch back up.
Yeah.
And you'll see us again in another month.
Yes.
Yeah.
What chapters are we reading to in the next book?
Oh,
You
that's
know?
a good question.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little frazzled right now, so I will just make a community post for
Okay.
you listeners with what the chapter count will be, and then the rest of us will, or the recorders here, we'll figure it out off pod.
Okay. Sounds good.
And if you're listening to this in the future, it'll be in the description.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Well, yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning back in. See you in a couple of months. Just a quick question for everybody before we all get the heck out of here. Hey, William, I know you're tired, but if people were wanting to learn more about you while you slept, where could people go do that?
While I slept, where would people find me? They could probably find me on It's Called a Lance.
That's what we're recording right now. Stop
In
stealing
that
my
case, they
thing.
could find me on the William SRD YouTube channel, where I review tabletop video games.
And Auntie Haunty.
Yes. Yes.
I don't actually have a funny intro, but if you were in the Feet Forest, where would people find you there?
Twitch.tv/AuntyHaunty.
Well, that's good.
Twitch.tv. Yeah, twitch.tv/AuntyHaunty. That's it.
And you can find me here on the paywalled Patreon exclusive podcast from William SRD. I am also on the Handful of Nerds. We are releasing new episodes. We swear. We have not forgotten.
Fantastic.
All right. Now go on. Get out of here. Go
right.
mourn. Tell people you love them.
Tell
Hold your friends
everyone.
close.
Tell everyone that the oath holds meaning.
Tell everyone the oath holds meaning.
Do what Sturm would do and sacrifice yourself for the thing you believe
Okay,
in.
we are not advocating for that. Just listeners,
yeah.
go
Stand on
and
the-
remember that Sturm died for your sins. See you next time.
Stand on the embattlements of fate and die for your cause.
Okay, I'm stopping the recording before you get us in trouble.